Speedrunning is hard, is a sentiment that I've seen gain more and more popularity over time here on the internet.
He did not. Did you just see that?
Oh my god.
It's like, I love watching this, but it discourages me because I'm like, damn, I am not hitting this shit anytime soon.
Whether it's a multi-hour documentary about the history of a speed game, an indecipherable Twitch stream where the game you thought you knew looks nothing at all like you imagined, or Carl Jobs' video,
Hello, you absolute legends.
there are more ways to get introduced to speedrunning than ever before. This is no mere hobby, it's an exercise in reaching as close as one possibly can to perfection. One that takes skill, dedication, and knowledge beyond what the instrument you used to climb higher could ever teach you. What if I told you that's all bullshit? Alright, let me explain. Speedrunning content is interesting because it showcases the best of the best excelling at what they do. It shines a spotlight at the top of the game and shows you how and why they made it there. Watch enough content like that, however, and you inevitably get the impression that speedrunning starts and ends there. A playground for the unimaginably skilled. When in reality, it really is just a hobby. Speedrunning isn't limited to the best of the best competing for records. It can be a fun activity on the side.
Oh my god.
An interesting puzzle to solve, or a silly expression of love for a video game.
Rock! Rock! Rock!
Both the content and the paragraph aren't wrong, but they're not telling the full story. Speedrunning isn't hard. It's as hard as you choose to make it. I've wanted to make a video like this for a while, but my vision truly solidified when I heard this line from a video called Games That Don't Care About You by the Chris Judge.
Speedrunning is a meta game, a game on top of a game, and that extra layer brings elements from outside of what the developers intended for you. Good design is thrown out the window, as the things that decide how a speedrun will play are the intricacies of your hitboxes and niche factors of movement, where your death zones are and what spots you might have missed. The game becomes jagged and finicky, borderline impossible at most points, and only approachable to those who dedicate hundreds of hours to it.
I love this video, and I hope you click the link to it in the description after you're done here. But as validating as it is to see people marvel at speedruns now that I'm a speedrunner myself, the last thing I want is for that to turn into the reason why someone who was interested in speedrunning decides not to try it due to not being good enough.
Points and only approachable to those who dedicate hundreds of hours to it.
That is where this video hopes to come in. In the speedrun tradition, I will help you do in minutes what took me months. I will show you what it takes to speedrun a video game, and together we will prove that speedrunning is much more accessible than you think.
Honestly, I just think it's best played when you actually do rip and tear until it's done.
When tackling speedrunning, the most important and least obvious thing is your mindset. That mindset will depend on what you find more enjoyable, but one thing that's important for everyone to understand is that you don't need to be good to have fun. No! Speedrunning, at its core, is about self-improvement. The leaderboards may place you on a list with other players, but the majority of these players aren't trying to beat the world record, but their own record. It's so common, in fact, that the shorthand PB for personal best is one of the most common phrases you'll hear spoken or see typed. Competition, even against yourself, will have its ups and downs as everything else does, but as long as you're aware of both your limits and what you want out of a speedrun, I'm confident you can have a good time. It is also vital to remember to take learning at your own pace and take breaks when you need to. Use whatever you see fit to make practice enjoyable and revel in your progress, however small. In the description you'll see a link to an amazing video on the topic by Bye-Bye, whose advice can be adapted into many games, not just Celeste. Now that you officially have a good head on your shoulders, we can start picking a game. You don't know? There must be something that sounds cool, right? Well, yeah, it's true that there are a lot of good games out there, But it's not like picking a speed game is anything complicated. It's just a matter of taking a game you love, taking a look at its speedrun, and deciding whether or not that looks interesting to you. Is there a game that has mechanics that you enjoy? A speedrun you've watched that sparked your interest? A childhood classic you need an excuse to revisit? Well, that's already 3 options minimum right there. Your experience will vary drastically based on the game you choose to run, so take into account the mechanics, the route, how you imagine it'll feel like to play, and especially the length. A run can be 20 seconds, 20 minutes, an hour, multiple hours, and sometimes even more. So pick up your vibe detector and browse until it starts to ping. Whichever game you pick, your next step is to get in contact with the community. Most communities link their Discord server on their games page on speedrunning.com. Some even have an active cast of Twitch streamers doing attempts live. Even though speedrunning is usually done by a single individual at a time, it is very much a team effort.
Just shouting out my friends!
These communities often host helpful resources regarding your chosen game. Tutorials, be it videos or spreadsheets, archives of strategies you can pick and choose from, and most vital, people that will answer your questions. Oh, don't be shy. You're looking at a bunch of nerds. Specifically nerds that can't shut up about their speed game. To say they'd be happy to answer your questions is like saying this video took a little bit of time to make. Once you scour the community for some info and decided the game and category, you can simply start trying it out. The most straightforward way to learn a game is to take any run from its leaderboard and attempt to replicate it. Anytime you're stuck on a section or don't understand the mechanics behind a certain trick, go back to the community and ask about it. Rinse and repeat until you know the route. Games that have been around for longer typically have tutorials or guides you can follow that go into more detail, be it linked in the Discord server or the dedicated section on speedrun.com. Sometimes there are even tools to help you practice by providing save states or access to cheats. You would usually not be able to use them during runs, but modifying the game goes a long way into understanding it on a deeper level. Tricks go from incomprehensible to challenging when you realize exactly what makes them tick. These are, essentially, attempts by the community to battle the intimidation associated with speedrunning. Not by streamlining the game or the route, but the experience of speedrunning. They're trying their best to make their game more fun to run and easier to get into. They exist because of passionate runners who want to share that passion with others, want them to experience the fun they have without as much of the hardship. That's what I mean when I say speedrunning is a team effort. People help each other out, share information, come up with new ideas, in hopes of making that next person who starts the timer have a damn good time.
Oh shit, here we go again.
This has the welcome side effect of making speedrunning highly customizable. This is quite an underrated part of speedrunning that often goes unmentioned. For instance, is there a trick you don't like? There might be an easier and slower version of it you can do instead. Is the route in general too difficult? An older route is likely less optimized and therefore easier. Is the category you're learning just not fun? The skills you've acquired while learning that category are likely to carry over to another one, since they're both different ways of speedrunning the same game, making the switch a lot smoother and more comfortable than it sounds. I have, on 2 separate occasions, attempted to learn a game, liked it until a certain point, and switched to a different category that ended up being a lot more fun for me. Funnily enough, in both times, I ditched the fastest category for another one twice the length. The last example of customizability is the popular timer live split. You can tweak everything from text font to color to adding cute sound effects when you pass a level.
It's a video of Zai getting railed? Shit, why didn't you say so?
The large majority of timers are highly unique, and putting your own flair on it is part of the charm. There is a surplus of videos about how to set it up yourselves, but don't hesitate to ask if you have further questions. They're great resources to get you started, but I find they're usually surface level. My personal favorite guide is this one from Liquid Candy. You'll see in the description. Doesn't answer everything, but it's good stuff. I didn't know where to talk about this, but Circotunes has a video called Micro Speedrunning Games Will Change You that recommends bite-sized speedruns rather than telling you to just start speedrunning. Similar idea, but different approach. I can't recommend it enough. When I watched this clip from AlphaRad while looking up speedrun reactions to make the intro more compelling, it made me cringe. Not because it's bad, but because it reminded me of a time where I held the exact same mindset. When this 15-minute and 7-second run by the runner Geeknob was verified on the leaderboard of a game I've been running for the better part of 3 years, it was equal parts wonderful as it was devastating. The category was pushed farther than I ever thought possible, into a level that I feared was beyond me. So I took a break. I gave up. I got discouraged because I thought, damn, I am not hitting this shit anytime soon. But in due time, I came back. Because regardless of whether I will be in first or second place, I wanted to speedrun. I wanted to have fun with this game again. It was only once I rediscovered that fun that I happened upon a breakthrough. I made contact with the community. I started trying it out.
Wait, what?
I customized my route, exploring both old and new strats to create something unique. And in the end, I had a lot of fun. Not just from the run itself, but from the journey. My point isn't that everyone needs to speedrun. Nothing is ever going to be fun for absolutely everyone. And even within speedrunning, I have my own set of preferences. I'm tired of seeing speedrunners placed on a pedestal so high that it scares me to look down. Speedrunning is no pedestal. It's more akin to a pyramid, where each and every runner, glitch hunter, router, modder, etc. places a building block of their own somewhere. Some go ever higher, while others reinforce the base. My point is that when you stare down that pyramid, however it may look like, and you think to yourself, I'm never gonna get up there. The fun isn't up there, and it's not down here either. It's in the act of climbing. So get out there and climb. I know it's hard. That's why we built these stairs. Just remember to read the rules first. Alright?